Are we rolling? Up, there we go.
Yep. Give it one more second here. Let them connect to audio. Good to go.
Okay, this is a planning commission meeting of January 6th. We're doing it via Zoom because of the pandemic. First order of business is to call the meeting to order. And the second order of business is a review of meeting minutes from the December 16th, 2020. WALKERVI.
This is Scott. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll support.
Motion by Scott, supported by Jason to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, this is now a time for general public comment. This provision is made to encourage the expression of questions and concerns regarding non-public hearing items and issues not on the agenda. If anybody in the audience has something to say that is not regarding something that is not on the agenda tonight, please raise your hand and Scott will or Jason will let you in.
I don't see any public on the call.
Okay.
No one has their hand raised.
Moving on, item number 4, case number 20-881. This is a public hearing. WALKERVIEW CPUD preliminary site plan amendment request. 2352 Northridge Drive Northwest, 3352 Walker Avenue Northwest, 3325 WALKERVIEW Drive Northwest, 3311 WALKERVIEW Drive Northwest. Lot C6 and C8 of the WALKERVIEW CPUD. So, Tricia, take it from there.
Hey. You should start this thing from the beginning. Okay. Sorry. I swear I know how to use computers. Okay, so we have a request to amend the WALKERVIEW PASP for 2 lots in the CPUD portion of that PUD. So the action requested by the Planning Commission is to provide a recommendation to the City Commission for the approval with conditions or tabling of the request to amend the WALKERVIEW CPUD, specifically lots C6 and C8, to allow for an additional land use, which would be a gasoline service station. And Tyler mentioned all of the addresses. There's a total of 4 addresses because one of the lots, lot C8, makes up or has 3 addresses, is made up of 3 different parcels. Total acreage affected by this proposed amendment would be 4.1 acres. The future land use designation of this this area is enterprise, according to the community character designation, and it's located in the Northwest Neighborhood Cluster. General location of the project site is the southeast corner of the Northridge Drive Walker Avenue intersection. And we have Justin Longstreth of Moore and Bruges Inc. with us here, and Jeff Edwards of Rockford Construction, who is the owner of the property. Oh, just went through that. Sorry. So just some general information and a little bit, tiny snippet of background here. So the WALKERVIEW PASP, the overall development was approved in 2015, and FedEx was the first development that came to the industrial portion of the PUD in 2016. And at that time, there was an amendment for various things, including the removal of some of the roads that were part of the original PASP, and then also that amendment would allow for the combination of the parcels that make up lot C8, which is one of the parcels in question here. And so the commercial portion of the PUD has remained vacant for almost 5 years. And only two of the parcels have been developed. And so here's the overall PASP for the WALKERVIEW. Here's the IPUD portion over here, these parcels here, and then everything basically to the east of Shippers Drive is part of the commercial planned unit development. The parcels that we're talking about tonight are lots C6 and C8. And this is where the applicant has requested the amendment to allow for gas stations on these particular parcels. So here they are again, a little bit closer up. You can see how lot C8 is made up of these 3 individual parcels. This is Grand Rapids Ophthalmology here, and this is the Holiday Inn that just was recently granted occupancy. And so basically what's happening is the property owner approached the city and indicated that they've had a lot of interest in developing these parcels as gas stations. And there was some interest on the other side of the street, but the master plan allowing for something like a gas station on the other side of Walker Avenue would not be all that consistent with the master plan. And so I think at the time when this planned unit development was approved, they wanted to allow for uses that would be approved in the C3 zoning district. And they didn't want to open the door for C4 uses because while some of them might be okay, others weren't all that desirable for this area because of some of the regulated uses that are permitted in the C4 district. And so I think they just stayed away from C4 altogether. So they'd like to now just amend the PUD to allow for that one particular use in addition to uses that are permitted by right and by special exception in the C3 district. And so staff is behind this request. You know, there's been a lot of development to the east with Kent County Road Commission, Central Complex, FedEx, Flexco, Falk Panel coming in. And, you know, once Flexco and Kent County Road Commission and Falk Panel are finished, that's going to bring a lot of employee traffic. You know, down on the other end of Northridge Drive, you just recently approved the final area site plan for the Amazon site, which, you know, is planned to have 800 parking spaces for vans. And so for every van space, there's typically an employee, and the parcels over there continue to get developed. And we continue to receive inquiries for more development in that area. And so if you've ever been to the gas station, the Meyer gas station on Walker Avenue, really any time of the day, it's pretty jam-packed with delivery vehicles, you know, construction vehicles, and just people who get off the highway right there to go to work. Because they work in one of the businesses along Northridge Drive. And so it's just going to be, you know, with the increased traffic, the need for some of these convenience amenities, such as gas and, you know, stuff that you would typically get at a gas station or a C-store, is also going to be in higher demand. So like I said, staff is in support of this request, and it's recommended that the Planning Commission provide a favorable recommendation to the City Commission for the approval of the request to amend the WalkerView PASP to allow a gasoline service station as a permitted use on lots C6 and C8 as described and depicted in the WalkerView PASP last revision dated November 27, 2020. That's all I have on that.
Okay, any questions for Tricia? Do the applicants have anything to add? I don't think it's a big debatable thing. Any of the applicants have anything to add?
Oh, no, I'd like to say thanks to Tricia for the background and introducing this request, and thanks to you commissioners for taking some time out this evening to consider this. Yeah, I think Tricia summed it up pretty nicely. We've obviously had a lot of success in the last few years selling and developing these industrial lots. The market conditions in the last 18 months have been very favorable. We've gotten 4 offers in that time frame from various gas station and C-store operators. So to us, that means clearly the market sees this section of Walker Avenue as a place to make some investment, and we would like to support that. So yeah, I appreciate your time to talk through that this evening.
Thanks, Jeff. It is a public hearing. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing, please?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Support.
Motion by Jason, supported by Steve to open the public hearing. All in favor, say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is open. If there's anybody in the waiting room or in stratosphere out here waiting, Jason, do we see anybody with their hand up or?
I don't see any.
Okay, seeing as there is none, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion by Jason,
Support.
support by Scott. All in favor, say aye
Aye.
and raise your hand. Opposed? Public hearing is closed. Comments or questions?
Yeah, I had one question, just I guess for Justin or Jeff. With because we're looking at 2 lots, do you think that somebody's entertaining both spots, or are you just trying to capture each of them so somebody could have one or the other? Because it looks like it's split between 3 lots there. I guess what's the overall intent?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Jason. So the at least 2 of the offers that we've reviewed recently show layouts that would actually overlap onto either one of those lots. And so from that perspective, just trying to obviously have some flexibility in terms of where those structures are situated and tanks and those types of things. So really, again, just looking to maximize flexibility on how we can lay out plans on each of those lots.
It sounds like a silly or rhetorical comment, but you wouldn't plan on 3 different gas stations there, right? It would
No. From a scale perspective, Jason, the largest of the concepts that we've seen, of course, very linear dispenser area, but yeah, to have a full scale, fully functioning C-store and gas station, and not to mention obviously circulation, traffic circulation, we pretty much need every square inch of those lots. So
Jason, you were pretty much reading my mind with that comment. So
yeah.
It sounded a little silly, but I didn't think that was the case. But I thought, well, you always have to ask, I guess.
spot on.
Other questions? Comments?
Well, I would just make a comment that I would not like to see 8 pounds of sugar in a 4-pound bag with 2 gas stations squeezed in there. Let's do it right, would be my comment.
Thank you, Tom. Anybody else?
So I have some comments from Terry that he emailed me.
Okay.
And I'll just read that into the record. So he just says, I believe the proposed PUD amendment is reasonable based on your analysis. The limitation of this use provision to the 2 specific lots on the premise that the site design is still subject to site plan review and approval by the Planning Commission. This will give opportunity for adjacent businesses to provide input on how this use may impact their operations. I appreciate the opportunity to share this viewpoint, even though I will be unable to participate in tonight's meeting.
Okay, Tricia, can you go back to the screen of the participants?
Oh, yeah. Well, don't you control that? Or do I just have to stop sharing?
Stop.
There you go.
Oh. Sorry.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion. There was a motion emailed to you.
Yeah, I can make that motion, Mr. Chair, for case 20-881. I will make a motion to recommend approval to the Walker City Commission for the proposed amendments to the WALKERVIEW CPUD preliminary area site plan to allow for gasoline service stations on lots C6 and C8 based on the site plan and supporting materials provided by the applicants for Planning Commission last revision dated 11/27/2020. Findings of fact per section 94-2133G. The proposed development conforms to the city's master plan. The proposed development conforms to the intent and to all regulations and standards of the Walker zoning ordinance as applicable. The proposed development will be adequately served by public facilities and services such as highways, streets, police and fire protection, drainage courses, water and sanitary sewer facilities, refuse disposal, or that the persons or agencies responsible for the proposed development shall be able to provide in a manner acceptable to the Planning Commission any such facilities and services. The location of the proposed uses, layout of the site, and its relation to streets giving access to it shall be such that traffic to, from, and within the site and assembly of persons in connection therewith will not be hazardous or inconvenient to the project or the surrounding area. In applying this standard, the Planning Commission shall consider, among other things, convenient routes for pedestrian traffic, particularly of children, relationship of the proposed project to main thoroughfares and street intersections, and the general character and intensity of the existing and potential development of the surrounding area. Streets will follow topography, be properly spaced, and be located and aligned in accordance with the intended function of each street. The project will have adequate access to public streets. The plans do provide for logical extensions of public streets and do provide suitable street connections to adjacent parcels where applicable. This project is proposed for construction in phases. The planning and designing will be such that upon completion, each phase will be capable of standing on its own in terms of the presence of services, facilities, and open space, and will contain the necessary components to ensure protection of natural resources and the health, safety, and welfare of the users of the planned unit development and the residents of the surrounding area.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion. Is there support?
Yes.
Okay, motion by Steve Gilbert, support by Joe Taylor. All those in favor say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Thanks, Jeff and Justin.
Thank you.
Many thanks. Good evening to you all.
You too. Thank you. Tricia, anything to add for 2 weeks from now? We got the hotel back, or?
Yep, so they're still planning on coming on the 20th, and we'll rehash some of the issues that they are trying to work out with a resubmittal. We ended up having to push back the Waterford Village public hearing to, it was tentatively planned for the 27th. And we are now tentatively planning for the 24th of February. And that's a Wednesday, and it's not one of our regularly scheduled meetings. It'll be a special meeting. Because I think that Frank wants to hold it at somewhere off-site to allow for more people. So obviously it's kind of a fluid situation and we don't really know what the pandemic is going to bring at that time. So we actually have a site plan review committee meeting tomorrow with the Waterford folks. And what else do we have? We have an industrial planned unit development that's being proposed just east of the Northridge East PUD, the Arnold Grover property. So just east of where the new Hendershot extension is proposed or is being built. So they're proposing a industrial spec building. So I received the revised plans yesterday. I think they have a lot of work to do. So they may or may not be on the 20th of January. And other than that, I got a lot of things in the hopper, but no concrete applications at this time.
Okay, thank you, Tricia. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, quick question. This is Pat. Hey, Tricia, do we know when Chick-fil-A is going to start?
We haven't received any of their revised plans. So what they do is they revise their plans to include all of the conditions of approval and all of the recommendations that Scott and I put into our staff reports as adopted by the Planning Commission. And we have not received our revised plans yet, and we can't release a building permit until we get that squared away. So just gonna have to wait a little bit longer for your chicken sandwich.
Well, no, the reason I asked is because Culver's opened up and they were backed up because they got the double drive-through as well. And
Yeah.
They were backed up down the new street. And I can see Chick-fil-A being backed up. And then the whole intersection across the street to the Meyer gas station, that's a fiasco right now. The lights, and there's no striping on the streets. So I know Scott, I was going to send a note to Scott and see what the plans are for that, because I take that route a lot and it's going to turn into a huge mess when Chick-fil-A opens up. But
Yeah.
we all know that. So
I've been having to go out past out on Broadmoor to this tile place recently a lot. And I drive past the Chick-fil-A on East Belt Line and 28th Street.
it's backed up all the way.
time.
I passed there a couple weeks ago and oh my gosh, there was probably 60 cars waiting
Yeah.
in line.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. And that's only been open for a year, maybe a year and a half.
I don't get it, but
Yeah.
I don't eat chicken. So
Yeah, I'm not a Chick-fil-A fan, but anyways, it's just gonna be a busy area right there, and it depends on what else goes in next to Chick-fil-A too.
yeah, and that is that's being proposed as a Starbucks. I keep getting emails saying we're getting ready to apply. We're we're getting all of our plans ready, but I haven't seen any applications yet. But that one's coming soon.
Well, there's a Starbucks in the Myers, but oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Scott to adjourn. If you don't want to adjourn, stay here. See ya.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys. Have a
Bye.
good night.
Right.